Yo, 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 it's your boy Shawn Puff. I'm here with Mike K, and this is Smarks, Spotmonkeys, and Superkicks. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Happening.
Not much, man. Back here on video. Of course, the regular audio won't drop until, I'll probably drop it a little early since Double or Nothing is actually on Saturday. This is our Double or Nothing pit stop show. I love our pit stops. We run down everything. But before we get into all the pit stop stuff and break down Double or Nothing, all the matches and all that fun stuff, I want to get into some other things of what's going on in the world of wrestling. By the way, this is going to be broken up into separate parts tonight. So when this ends, there'll be a link at the bottom showing you the next one and the next one, and we'll go through. You can go through it like that and check out the entire show here, or you could just get the podcast when it drops, and it's everywhere. You know where to find it. If you don't know where to find it, watch the last show, and at the beginning of it, actually at the end of this, I'll put up the picture of everywhere you can check the podcast out. Bang! How's that sound?
Sounds good.
So a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling. I want to start out first and give our condolences to the family of Shad Gaspard. I'm sure you heard about what happened with him. He was out in Daytona Beach, I believe it was, in California with his son. They're out swimming, and there were riptides, and they came in to get people out the water. When they came to get Shad, he directed them to grab his son first. When they did that, a large wave actually came over, crashed down on Shad Gaspard. He was pulled out to sea. They didn't find his body for days, and when they did, he was unfortunately gone.
Yeah.
Very, very sad story, especially for who he was. I never had the opportunity to meet Shad Gaspard, but I've just seeing the way that the wrestling world came together for him. It reminded me of like Owen. You know what I mean? When Owen passed, everyone came together. Like usually there's like people that have an issue and don't like somebody. This was a guy that everybody just seemed to love. Shad. Like everybody loved him. I mean, people were going out after they stopped looking for him. People went out on their own boats to go search for him. Chris Masters went out as his own boat and called anyone to come out and help him and said, "We're gonna go find him." Like that tells me something about the character of Shad Gaspard and the legacy that he'll leave on the sport, even though he never really had that like shining moment where you can be like, "Oh, you remember when Shad Gaspard did this?" I mean, Crime Time held tag titles, but I mean, nothing like, he didn't have like a standout career in the WWE, but he did have a standout overall career between everybody in wrestling.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty sad. It's a sad story. It's a terrible way to go.
Yeah, man. Drowning's one of the worst ways to die.
Probably, yeah.
Right, like when you die, you don't want to drown.
No, you don't want to drown. It's probably the worst way.
Yeah.
The hope is that maybe he just, when the wave hit him, that he got knocked out, and then just got swept out to sea, and he just didn't even
realize it. Yeah.
Didn't realize it. He just kind of, just went. That's my hope. But yeah, it's a tough story. It's a tough situation.
Yeah, it's like 2020. Stop. You're drunk. Go home. 2020. Enough of this.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's ridiculous. Did you hear about Ember Moon?
Briefly, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
Ember Moon's injury is career-ending, so she won't be coming back.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be the same thing for Xavier Woods.
Yeah, it kind of sucks for Xavier Woods. I know he was doing well. It's just a bad injury.
I liked Xavier Woods. You never got the push you should have got. They needed to break up New Day a long time ago and let Xavier get a singles push because that guy's incredible. I mean, you never know. He could end up coming back at some point, but right now it looks like he's done. It hasn't been made official, but he's got a podcast that he's doing now with another wrestler, and they're recapping their careers in the podcast. It's basically their podcast format. So when you see stuff like that, it kind of tells you something. It makes you think, yep, he's probably done if he's recapping his career at this point.
Yeah, Achilles injuries are just terrible. You never fully recover from them.
Nope. So, I mean, hopefully it ends up not being career-ending and he comes back. It's just he's been gone for a long time. I thought he was going to be back.
Well, Achilles is usually a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Achilles are usually a year, a minimum of a year recovery, if not more.
Yeah, so
I'm sure with everything going on, it's been tougher for him to get what he needs to get to be like even fully healthy. He's probably way behind on physical therapy.
Yeah, I bet. Especially without all this going on. It just doesn't help anything right now. I mean, it's to continue with the bad news. It's just a bad month right now for Black people.
Yes.
We've got this other thing going on with the whole Lio Rush Mark Henry thing. I don't know if have you been following what's going on with that?
No, that one I don't know about.
So Lio Rush and Mark Henry had some beef back in WWE when you remember Lio made those comments about Tennille Dashwood when she got cut.
Yeah.
Emma, those of you who are WWE marks and don't know who she is. He was like,
yeah.
"Oh, guess she's not ready for Asuka, ha 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 ha." And like people were upset about that, rightfully so. It was kind of uncalled for and unprofessional. Well, he had some words with Mark Henry, and he told Mark Henry he didn't have issues backstage, and Mark Henry pretty much called him out on it. And they kind of went back and forth a little bit, and it was kind of left alone. And recently, Lio made some comments about Mark Henry on Twitter, which led to Mark Henry's boys, I forget what they're called. There's like an alliance of Black wrestlers, like not just Black wrestlers, but like legendary Black wrestlers. I'd imagine it's probably got Ron Simmons is probably a part of that crew, that group. Probably the Godfather, he's probably a part of that group as well. Butch Reed. You know what I mean? But they have a name. It's like the Coalition or something like that, or whatever they're called. And they apparently reached out to Mark Henry and was like, "Oh, you want us to go deal with him?" And he says he told them, no, leave it be. And then that was fine. And then he went on like Busted Open Radio or some podcast, and he straight up said, because Lio was talking trash back to him on Twitter, and he said, "This guy's gonna come out here and talk about me, and he's lucky I don't sue him for defamation, and I can do it. This is what he said, I have Harvard lawyers. I don't know what kind of lawyers he messes around with, but I'm hanging around with Ivy League type guys, and they're all pretty pissed about this. So I might just have to sue him." And I was just like, all right, Mark Henry, you were the man. You had a great career. I take nothing away from Mark Henry. The guy was just a monster. But you're threatening court with your Harvard lawyers. That is the least Black thing that you can do. White people get that. But I'm telling you, that's the least Black thing you can do. You threaten them with your Harvard lawyers? Fuck out of here. Like, you should lose you're about to lose your hood pass for that. Like, you get a hood pass to be revoked for telling them, "Oh, I got Ivy League guys around me." Good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
And the thing is, he could crush Lio if it's Mark Henry. Mark Henry would destroy Lio Rush. So Lio Rush also Lio Rush needs to shut his mouth.
True.
But I mean, come on.
Agreed. Yeah.
Threatening with Harvard lawyers. Come on, Mark. You're better than that. You're freaking better than that.
It's true.
You know what I mean? I was like, really? Is this what he's doing? That's what he's doing?
So what we've come to nowadays. Can't take anything. Can't take care of anything anymore. You gotta just sue people.
I'm saying, we're so sue happy. Everybody wants to sue everybody.
Yeah, of course. Because everyone wants money.
Remember that old Jerky Boys call? Well, then I'll sue you.
Yeah.
Sue who? You. I'll sue you. Sue me for what? Punitive. For real, like that was like so before its time, and now that's what everybody does. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mark Henry's a bitch, and he wants to sue him. And I'm gonna sue UPS if I don't get my goddamn wine. I was hoping to have a glass of wine tonight, and I don't have my wine.
Do it.
I would say don't use nakedwines.com, but it's not their fault. It's UPS's fault. So Naked Wine's great.
Right. Blame UPS.
Yeah. Maybe Naked Wines, because if I mentioned them a few times, maybe they'll sponsor us. Naked Wines.
That'd be nice. I've had Naked Wines. I've had it before.
Membership. Maybe they'll give me half off my membership.
There you go.
It's a good little deal. I pay $40 a month, right? It builds up into my bank there, right? I can buy wine whenever I want. And I get, because I'm an angel, it's called an angel member if you're paying the $40 a month ahead of time. I get 60% off a huge selection of their wines.
There you go.
And every 11 bottles, or it might be if I order 11 in a month. So if I order a case in a month and get 11 bottles of wine, they give me a 12th for free.
There you go.
So not too bad of a deal.
No.
And you get all kind of special editions that, like, I have access to wines that other people won't have access to because I'm an angel member. You can be a member, just buy whenever you want. But you don't get the exclusives that I get because I'm an angel.
Yeah.
You're just like, no, you're not an angel.
An angel of wine.
Angel of wine. That's me. But anyway, we'll move along. That's
You're
like
Dionysus. Congratulations.
Free plug right there to Naked Wines. Look at that. I'm feeling good today. So
Great.
the last thing I want to talk about before we get on to Double or Nothing, Seth Rollins and Jim Cornette. Tell me you saw this.
No.
So Jim Cornette, I'm gonna look it up on my phone. I want to get Jim Cornette's exact wording of what he said about Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. So he was on he's got his podcast, of course, and he kind of blasted Becky Lynch over going out and getting pregnant and having a baby. He said, you can't always be on top of the wrestling business and $1 million a year spot or more. Well, you can have a baby. What is she? Can she be 30? Lynch is 33. Well, still, she's got many more years before the fucking Easy Bake Oven gets shut off. She can have all these problems with a descended stomach and stretch marks and hemorrhoids and hormones problems and mood swings and all those other joys of motherhood later on when she ain't making $1 million a year. She's got plenty of time left. What'd you do if your wife came home and said, instead of making $1 million next year, I'm going to basically just be a raging bitch for the next 9 months and then give you more shit to worry about around the house? Seth, being the whiny bitch that he is, turned into a whiny bitch about it. So let me tell you what he said. Seth Rollins or Jim Cornette. So this came out just recently. And Seth said, it hurt my feelings on a personal level because Jim Cornette is someone who's a legend in our industry. And he's someone that I've personally worked with my time in Ring of Honor. For him to come out and say some real negative things, some real misogynistic things about women in general and pregnancy in the industry, it kind of caught me off guard. And it made me lose a lot of respect for someone who, like a lot of people, I had kind of already lost a lot of respect for. I was holding on to hope that somewhere along the line, there was a personal connection between Jim and I that would make him think twice before making just some egregious comments about women and about my wife. I can't even forgive him. I don't want to repeat them. So here's my thing about this, right? It wasn't in that part of it, but when I read the whole comment he said. So first off, Seth's a whiny bitch, and he needs to shut up. I'm so sick of Seth Rollins. We all know that I hate Seth Rollins.
Well, why the fuck Jim Cornette doesn't need to put his 2 cents in either?
That's what Jim Cornette does. He does what we do right here. He's got a podcast. He puts his 2 cents in like we do.
That doesn't mean he can act like a dickhead to someone having a baby.
So check it out.
Just because you have a podcast doesn't mean you get to be an asshole.
I'm an asshole all the time on my podcast.
Yeah, but fuck off. Then don't bitch when someone responds back to you for being an asshole.
Well, no. He didn't bitch. I'm bitching because Seth Rollins is a whiny bitch. Jim Cornette hasn't said anything else yet. He probably will in his podcast next week. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that gets me. In all of his comments, he stated what Becky's doing is going to hurt the company because those two going away, that's like your top guy breaking his leg right before your biggest event of the year. So here's the thing. Seth saying that he's being misogynistic. Bitch, Jim Cornette always talks down about women's wrestling. Always. He always talks down about women wrestlers and women wrestling. So for him to compare Becky Lynch to a top draw breaking their leg, he's not being misogynistic. He's not at all. Not at all. He's making a very valid point. If you break your leg, you don't choose to break your leg. She chose to go get pregnant when she was at the top of the company.
Yes and no.
It's not a smart career move. Of course what do you mean? They were trying. And Seth said they were trying.
Okay, there's a difference between trying and happening. Like, just because you try doesn't mean you're going to have it.
Sure, but if you're not trying, you're not going to have it.
Okay, but
using protection and not trying to get knocked up.
Protection's not 100%.
Sure, but you got a way less chance of getting it.
Okay, and who says that they didn't?
Using protection or not, like they were legit trying. And his comment is, well, she's 33. After 35, women can have issues when they have babies. This is Seth being a whiny bitch trying to get the liberal snowflakes, the same crowd that's angry because the Undertaker wore a Blue Lives Matter t-shirt and a Don't Tread on Me hat on his documentary, and now all of a sudden Undertaker's a racist. These same people are who Seth's playing to get in their good graces because everyone thinks he's a bitch and everyone can't stand him anymore long before he even made his heel turn. This is just his way to try to be relevant and try to make himself look good in the eyes of the whiny snowflake crowd that's going to say, yeah, you can't talk about Becky like that. She's a woman. They're giving up a shit ton of money and they're leaving the company high and dry at a time when the company really needs
no.
It's kind of shitty. The company needs Becky Lynch and Seth as much as I hate them.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't need them. The show goes on regardless who's there or not.
Sure.
The show goes on. It's the way it's always been.
Becky's a draw.
Guys who have been draws for years, well, like bigger draws than either one of those guys are gone or disappeared. For example, Ronda Rousey left.
Ready? I put it on the same level as John Cena running off to make movies. It's a bitch movie.
Okay. Yeah, except that John Cena is a bigger draw than those two ever will be. Same thing with The Rock. You can say the same thing about anybody. All wrestlers go and do something eventually. Just because you're a big draw, I mean, all of them they've all left and done something. Stone Cold Steve Austin left before. So did The Rock.
Steve Austin got injured.
So did John Cena. So they all go and do something else, and then they come back. It's the way it is.
I don't know that she's going to come back. She's having a baby. It's not like she just have a baby and she's like, okay, cool, baby's out, coming back to wrestle.
Why not?
Seth might come back.
Might be another
leave in December.
It might be a year from now, but why not? Why couldn't she?
She's not going to.
Do you think there's no wrestlers right now that have kids?
No, I didn't say that.
So then they all come back to wrestle. So
But they don't come back a year later.
How do you know?
Comes back. Becky's going to come back 5 years down the road when her kid's 5.
How do you know? How do you know that's true? Who says she can't come back in a year or a year and a half?
If she does, she's a bad mother.
Why? Why is she's a bad mother? Why?
Leave her kid to go on the road and wrestle?
Who cares? Like, who's to say that she doesn't have a different schedule, a different way of doing things? Who knows? You have no idea what's going to happen.
She has a different way of doing things. She gave up $1 million to go have a baby.
Okay. Who says she doesn't make? Okay, it's $1 million. That's on her choice. But to get mad at her because she made a choice?
I'm not mad at her. I just think it was a bad decision.
Why? It's a bad decision because you don't agree with it because she went to go to have a baby? Good for her. Congratulations. Go have a baby.
Oh, yeah, good for her. Congratulations. But I just think it was a poor.
You're not,
It was a poor career decision. How's that?
why?
Poor career decision.
It's a poor career decision to go have a child. That doesn't make any sense.
Back? So here's why. Here's why. Do you think she's going to come back and make the same money that she was making today?
I have no idea. You have no idea what she's going to do a year from. You have no idea.
She's not gonna.
You know what Vince McMahon's going to do? Who knows? What's to say a year from now, Vince didn't say, hey, would you mind coming back? I'll double your salary if you come back now. Who's because I need someone. I need a top woman right now because all my
Ronda Rousey came back and I can have you guys fight because you beat her for the belt and then you beat her to having a baby.
There you go. Like, you know, how come Ronda Rousey can leave and go have a baby and no one says a damn thing?
Everybody hates on Ronda Rousey.
Huh?
I know because I love her.
Right, but that's the problem. So it's not about whether or not she had a baby. It's because you don't like her. It's a big difference. There's a big difference between you don't like her because you don't like her. And you don't like Seth Rollins. So you don't like the system.
Wait. Time out. Let's take this back a notch. So I wasn't the one that made the statement in the first place. It was Jim Cornette. I'm just saying I see where he comes from. I'm glad she went and had a baby because Becky Lynch has been stale and old for me and she needed to go away.
So why can't she go away?
Go away, learn a move, come back later. Whatever,
right.
go away, have a baby.
Right, and then come back and re-energize with a new way of a new gimmick or whatever it may be, or a new way of doing it. Or
the mom. It's the mom.
You have no idea how it's going to come back. You don't know what it's going to be like in a year and a half. Who knows?
I hope she doesn't come back. I hope she never comes back.
Who knows?
I hope she never comes back. Be great if she never comes back.
And she may not, and so be it. And the show will go on.
Hopefully Seth doesn't come back either.
And the show will just go on.
Actually, I'll take Becky coming back if it means Seth has to become a host dad.
Whatever. But the show will just go on, man.
Of course the show will go on.
So
it's not gonna end because Becky's gone.
Right.
They'll put somebody else. They'll create somebody else.
Yeah.
But here's a problem that I see happening that I don't like. I think Asuka is gonna be made that big face now, and I liked Asuka on that heel when she was on.
She is a face. She's gonna be a face from here on out.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Well, they had to. They don't have another face.
Yeah, because Becky fucked him over. That's what I just said.
No, they could easily just move somebody over, but they don't want to do that. And that's the problem when you only have one main face and the rest are all heels. So that's a creative issue, not a Becky Lynch issue. It's creative's issue because they decided they didn't want to make any more faces. They want to have one face.
All right, cool. I'll give you that. Yep, you're right. But she fucked over creative, knowing that they didn't have any faces.
No, she did not. It's not her fault that creative decided that Becky Lynch was going to be the only face that they're going to have on Raw.
You're right. It's Dana Warrior's fault.
Right. So to sit there and then be upset
because Dana Warrior's fault. So I take that all back. I don't blame Becky Lynch. I don't like her. I blame Seth Rollins and Dana Warrior.
Like, honestly, other than right now, who is a face female wrestler? Carmella, she's over in SmackDown. Who's a face? Name the faces are a female right now.
Naomi? She's
not around. Too, huh? She's not around.
She's on SmackDown.
She's not around. She's not around right now. No.
Hey, Naomi is around. Last Friday, she just lost to Dana Brooke on SmackDown.
Okay. All right, so I'll give you Naomi. Who else?
But she's on SmackDown. So
she's on SmackDown. But my point is, like, where are the female faces?
NXT?
WWE right now. No. Where are they? There aren't any. Exactly.
Nia Jax.
There aren't any. Nia Jax is a heel.
Lacey Evans. Isn't she a face now?
She's about the only one.
Lacey Evans. That's your face.
She's in a feud with Bayley. You know what I mean? But she's on SmackDown.
Is she on SmackDown too? I don't
know. Yeah, because she's fused with Bayley.
Charlotte. They got Charlotte. Charlotte's everywhere.
She's a heel. Charlotte's a heel.
But she's on every show. They can make her be a face and a heel.
Charlotte. Yeah, but she's a heel on every show. She's a heel.
Somebody in WWE thinks she's a top draw.
No, yeah, because that's Vince McMahon because he's a fucking retard.
I think it's Dana Warrior because she's a retard.
Whatever it may be. Charlotte sucks.
Charlotte's the worst. She's the worst. Literally the worst.
They don't have any faces right now in WWE.
They don't.
So,
you're right.
Like, that's why you have to make Asuka. I mean, I guess Kairi Sane kind of can join her as a face, but Kairi Sane's not even doing anything right now.
Pretty sure they cut her.
Yeah, she's pretty much done already.
Just letting her go.
Yeah, she's pretty much done anyway.
Yeah.
So it's Asuka, and That's it. Asuka, Naomi, Carmella.
Whatever, I love Asuka, so I'm happy with it. It's all good.
Yeah, I do too.
love
I think
Asuka, and I hate Becky, and I'm glad she's gone.
Asuka's,
Ha ha ha.
great.
But the moral of the story is that Seth Rollins is a whiny bitch. It's not even about Becky. Seth Rollins is a whiny bitch that's looking for attention from the snowflake crowd. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a fact. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back. I'm going to get into Double or Nothing. You're watching Smarks, Spotmonkeys, and Superkicks. We'll be right back.